So today I'm in South Africa and I'm opening a garage I haven't opened for 4 years. My old Range Rover Classic's in there. I've unlocked the garage, but I haven't lifted it up yet, so you're literally going to be opening this with me. This is one of my first videos, so bear with me as I'm new to it all, but I thought it was a moment we just couldn't afford to miss. So here we are. Here's the storeroom. Let's see what's here. Better if I open the bolt first. As I say, I've taken the padlock off. Doing it all one-handed. I don't have a setup or anything yet. Oh, there's another lock. Bear with me while I get the key. Right, I've got the second key. Bit of struggle getting it open. Ready? Here we go. God, it's dirty. Well, it's not too bad. So there she stands. Right, it's very difficult to get past here at the moment. So what I'm going to do is push it out and then I'll join you again. So it's a bit hard to get it pulled out on my own. So I've pulled out as far as I dare. I've used my other Range Rover because I'm on my own just to tug it backwards. So hopefully you can see, just give me enough room to kind of find my way in. So it's a bit of a tight squeeze, especially for me. So little squeeze in, but it's in a lot better condition than my mind's eye remembered. So let's get inside the car now. Hopefully that's coming out well. I've just got to remember where the bonnet release is, and I can't remember. I thought it was on the driver's side, but so far I haven't spotted it. So I'll just take you around the car. So here's the interior. Okay, it's a lovely old Classic. I really forgot how nice this car was. I had a couple of reasons I didn't use it on my last trip. Basically that cracked windscreen, if you can see that over there. There was a cracked windscreen. Low range also tends to pop out. And we were going up to the Okavango Delta. So I knew I needed to have low range. The other thing is diff lock is vacuum operated on this. And basically the vacuum line isn't connected. So I knew I had a cracked windscreen, low range wasn't staying in, I knew I didn't have centre diff lock. So I took the P38, which I'd never taken off-road before. I'd never taken any of them, any P38 off-road before. It turned out it was amazing, totally amazing off-road. And as lovely as this girl is, it can get very hot driving, very noisy driving in this car, as much as I love it to bits. But anyway, let's get this bonnet open. We've got the bonnet open, let's have a look. I forgot, I did a bit more work on this than I remembered. But when I got this, it was an off-roader. It had wheel arch extensions, it had big mud terrain tyres on it. You know, obviously someone had enjoyed it for that. It had rock sliders. But I wanted to go back to the Classic style. So it's back with Rostar wheels. I don't know if you can pick them up. It's been resprayed. We've had to obviously take off all of the off-road equipment and so forth over the years and put it back to standard as much as possible. So I'm just going to open the bonnet and just pause the video there. Okay, bonnet open at long last. Now, the reason that the vacuum line doesn't work is that I was persuaded to replace the SU carbs with a Weber, and it works, but it'll be going back to original as soon as I intend to get this back to UK. So once it gets back there, then it'll go back to being original. So now I'll give you a little look in the dark. what we'll do, I'll get it fired, hopefully get it fired up. And I know my family member tried to start it up quite a few years ago, and they couldn't start it. And I think, if I remember correctly, I took the rotor arm out, so you didn't have much of a chance to get it started, because obviously I'd forgotten about that. So, and the problem with the fuel in this is that it just evaporates. So whatever you leave it with is gone when you come back. So I know I'm going to have to go out and get some fuel for a start, but let's see how we go. So less than brilliant news. I had replaced the rotor arm. You can just see it's in there. So if we've got a rotor arm and it didn't start before, I wonder if it will start now, because it was always an on the button vehicle, but the main thing is making sure it's primed up with fuel. So I'll give it a crank over. What can we do? Well, if we crank it before ignition, then at least that way we can build up some oil pressure, because obviously it stood for such a long time that we've got oil on the stick. I could say it almost looks like it's overfilled, but don't worry, it will use that. It does tend to like a bit of oil. But yeah, let's get it cranked up so that we've got oil pressure before any ignition, and then we'll take it from there, one step at a time. Okay, so now I have fuel. We're on our way back, see what we can do. Back with the fuel. Ready to fuel her up. I'm going to film that bit because I'm not really sure about using a camera while trying to put petrol in, and it's a bit of a tight spot. So I'll catch up with you in a minute. Okay, so far seems to be fuel starvation problem, and for some reason, and I don't remember why, I know I replaced one of the fuel pumps, but for some reason there was two pumps. I can show you in a moment, but they're under the car, and it's not the easiest to get into. You can see the condition of the car is, it's really good. It's better than I remember. Anyway, there's a fuel filter leaving the tank, and that has no fuel in it, and I can feel both pumps running. So I'm just wondering, because it drove in here originally and drove perfectly, so I'm wondering if that fuel filter's blocked. So I'll come back to you. Again, not the best angle for videos, but this is totally clear. You can see it's got a one-way arrow, no resistance, but also no fuel on the lines. They're completely dry, and I've just put fuel in, so something's wrong with the fuel pumps. Well, that was hard. That took 2 days. This is not the same day, it's the following day. And basically I could not get the fuel up in the line. Let me just get the car in the background so you can see it. I'm sure you can hear it. So after a lot of investigation and siphoning fuel and all sorts of things, I found there was a cracked fuel line that came from the tank, and no matter what you could do, it was just sucking air in, so you couldn't build up any vacuum to get it running. However, it's now running. Started pretty easily, just had to let the carb fill up. Once the carb was filled, it cranked pretty quickly. It always was perfectly a good car with that. You know, you could always take it anywhere. But you might hear, I can hear some metallic sounds, some bearings that don't sound great, pulley bearings by the sound of it. So I don't think I'm going to be just jumping in it and driving off to see my friends. I think I've got a little bit more work to do, but we have a running car. So sorry about the light, just working in a garage here. It's obviously limited conditions, but there you go, I'll keep you updated. And there she is. We finally got her out in her very dirty glory at this stage. But you can probably see, unfortunately, I just broke the new, well, was new a few years ago, repeater indicator. But I'll have to sort that out very quickly. But you can see it's very, very straight condition. Lovely paint. I mean, it's just lovely. I just can't believe how nice it really is. I just completely forgot. You know, you haven't seen it for such a long time, and you sort of, I don't know, remember the sort of faults and things, but actually it's a real honey. A real honey. You know, it's just such a lovely, lovely original car. And here we go. Let's check. Oh, I've got a habit of leaving it in gear. Lovely. So, a bit more to do, but we're getting there. Time for a wash. Okay, we're now making our way up to my friend Philip's up in Benoni. It's about 100 kilometers, so this could well be the last journey in the country for my lovely old Rangey. Well, this is it. We're on the journey. We're on the highway heading up towards Benoni. Me and my very old friend. Funny day. I've got mixed feelings. You know, it's the end of an era in a way, if it all goes ahead. But it'll be a good thing. I'll join you when we get there. So she made it all the way there perfectly, and now is awaiting her return to the UK. I look forward to seeing her on this side.